Our favorite games we played in March 2023.
Welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. We're back again talking about our favorite games that we played, our favorite newer games, and we're going to go around. But after that, we're going to talk about some games that we played that are a little bit older, too, that we brought back to the table. So, Ryan, you want to start us off?
Yeah, my favorite game that I got to play in March 2023, this is a newer game, but it is published, Star Wars the Deckbuilding game. If you've ever played a deck builder, you will be familiar with the basic concepts in Star Wars the Deck Building game. There are a few things that are a little bit different. There is a force track where it starts on the rebel side, and the cards you play may or may not move the force to or away from you. If it's all the way on your side, you get an extra resource to spend. And there are some cards that let you get a bonus if the force is towards your direction, so if the force is with you. So you definitely need to manipulate it back and forth. And then there's some cards that normally when you play a card, it gets discarded at the end of your turn. There are some cards, capital ships, that just stay out, and every turn you get their benefit as well. Your goal is to destroy a certain number of your opponent's bases, and when you allocate damage towards their base, you have to allocate it towards their capital ships first. So it's like a shield that you have to get past. It's a two-player game. There are some cards that are Rebel, some that are Imperial, and you can only buy the cards that are yours, but you can attack the cards in the market that are your opponents. And then there's neutral cards as well that either of you can purchase. So when we were playing, I found Jabba the Hutt was super useful because not only does he let you exile cards, so you can get rid of the things that are watering down your hand, if you exile a card from your hand, you can draw some cards, and if the force is with you, you get to draw another card. So it's really good at cycling and getting that engine going, which is what you're wanting to do in a deck building game.
So Ryan, have you played Star Realms? I've heard people compare it to that a little bit. Any thoughts?
I don't remember it well enough.
Okay.
Cool. Well, mine that I picked for the month of March is the Adventures of Robin Hood expansion. The expansion is called Friar Tuck in Danger.
Yes.
If you're familiar with the Adventures of Robin Hood game from Cosmos, you basically are taking on the role of Robin Hood or Maid Marian or Will Scarlet or Little John. Hannah played Little John in the last time we played. And it's an adventure storybook game where you're going through different scenarios and trying to complete objectives. And it definitely has the Robin Hood theme to it. But this is an expansion that's coming out with a sort of 4-scenario campaign. And it has new characters, Friar Tuck and Sheriff of Nottingham, although they're more side characters. They're not playable characters, but they do influence what's going on in the game. And there's more components. There's a whole, like half part of the board.
A new board that you slide into the existing board.
And Melissa and I were talking about, like, what kind of mechanic. It's like an advent calendar mechanic where you are sort of revealing things on the board and putting them back. So I really like that in the Adventures of Robin Hood game, which Legends of Andor doesn't have that, does it? Does it have the revealing? But it has the story sort of element.
It's by the same designer.
It's by the same designer and same artist. Same guy.
And it is cooperative. I'm not sure if Kevin mentioned that.
I did not mention that. Cooperative adventure storytelling game. This is my pick for March, the expansion to the Adventures of Robin Hood.
And we're going to have a video soon.
Sounds good.
We're filming it soon.
Maybe. Melissa.
My pick for March is Motor City from 25th Century Games and
Motor City Gaming?
Motor City Gaming. Wow. That's like the title.
Yeah.
So this is a roll and write from Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle. So it's the third one. You have Fleet the Dice game. You have
Three Sisters.
And now we have Motor City. So it's a roll and write. Basically, you're building cars and racing them. It has dice drafting. It has tons of combos. So the things that I like in a heavier roll and write, Sarah, you would probably enjoy this one.
This one to the table.
So maybe we'll get to play it soon. But Motor City, roll and write, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kevin?
I also enjoyed it. It would probably be one of my favorite games of March, but I knew Melissa was going to bring it.
I said, no, it's my favorite, not your favorite.
You should definitely do a comparison video of the Three Sisters.
Yeah, it's on my back burner, so maybe it'll get pushed to the front burner. Comparison of the different roll and writes. Hannah?
So this was a new to me game. I finally got to play Verdant. I have heard so many amazing things about it. I did get to play with Katie at our last community board game night. She taught it to me. I got to play with 2 other people. You are building a tableau and you're just planting rooms and plants, and that's all you're doing, and you get to just try to match the colors to get more points. If there is really cool illustrations of different kinds of plants. I know Katie wanted to plant more plants. I realized I should have created more rooms because there's all sorts of ways to get more points. And if your little unique, there's little tokens that you want them to match the room color. And if they're all unique on your board, at the end you can get up to like 28 points. I realized that it's a grid of 5 cards across, 3 rows high. I planted 3 rooms in my middle row, which meant I could only have 7 rooms when I was trying to get 8 rooms. And so that is, if you're going for that goal, you want 3 rooms on top, 3 rooms on the bottom, and 2 in the middle, because rooms cannot be next to each other and plants cannot be next to each other. You get adjacency points. It's just lots of points, but it's very simple. You're either picking a room or a plant from 4 choices in a common auction kind of thing, and you're just building. It's a cute, cozy little game that can be played really quickly, and that's Verdant by AEG and Flat Out Games.
So my game also has to do with plants.
Ooh.
I
plant that.
Yes, I have gotten Gartenbau to the table a couple of times actually this month, and while I did play the prototype a number of times, it was my first play of the actual finished published game, which is very nice. Has beautiful artwork. It is all based on actual illustrations from seed catalogs
Oh, that's cool.
from 1898.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the flowers in them, all the illustrations are gorgeous. So got this one to the table. It's a tableau building game, similar, but you are free to do whatever you want. So you have to plant seedlings, and then once you have some adjacent to one another, depending on the colors, you can then grow a plant from it. So if you have a yellow and a red, you can plant an orange plant on top of it. So it has to do with color theory, which is fun. And then plant flowers that give you a bazillion points. So
Cool.
That's all balancing what the flower powers can do
Flower power.
to give
Yes.
you points at the end.
It's a very spring lineup for,
Yes.
for March.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is very true.
The weather is warming
Like
up.
Star Wars.
That's right.
Hope
That classic spring game.
That classic spring game.
Are we going around and talking about some
Sure,
older
we'll
games?
go
Oh,
back
good.
to, snake
Snake
draft
draft.
back the other way. So a fun one I got to play with my nieces was Super Mega Lucky Box.
Yeah.
Introduced them. They had a great time trying to combo all the stuff with Super Mega Lucky Box. So
Cool.
this is an older one I ended up picking up at a Staples.
Oh,
I remember you
Randomly, like it was on sale for super cheap. So I have played it a number of times at conventions, but I didn't have a copy.
So it's
I
kind of
picked it
like
up.
a, not quite bingo,
kind of
but
bingo-esque.
flip and right, and you're trying to fill in boxes, lots of combos. I enjoy that one as
I
well.
agree.
well, I'm going to. I don't have the box
That's
with
okay.
me. It is also another plant themed game.
Oh,
But
Nice.
I didn't have very many older games this time because Kevin kept making me play Robin Hood.
Yep.
and
Like,
then
you gotta get through the
and
campaign.
then like an unpublished game that we're not talking about yet.
Yep.
But was really fun. So I did get to play So Clover, which is one of
Oh,
my
that's
classic,
Nice. Yeah.
really fun games that you're just trying to come up with the right clue that won't match another word.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember if there was a really good clue this time, but So Clover was the one game I got to play that I really
I
enjoyed.
just remember
that's
the
older
bad
game.
clues normally.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
what were you thinking?
Yeah. What were you thinking?
So yeah, it's a cooperative.
Moist queen.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I went with Victoria. I mean, Moist
Is she
Queen.
moist?
Well, there's
England is
Victoria
wet?
Falls.
Oh, that's true.
And
Oh.
Victoria Falls
There you go.
is wet. But
we did
yeah.
get it. We got it though.
See?
yeah.
I still remember that one. Sorry, continue, Mama.
Yeah, so it's a cooperative word association game. Lots of fun. So Clover. The old game that we got back to the table was Anachrony.
This is the whole box right here.
I know, giant, yeah. I wouldn't be able to lift that box so easily. It's like this thick. Yeah, it's because this is the infinity box. But Jonah and Larry had never played Anachrony, and they came over recently and
We taught it to them.
taught it to them, and I looked back at my stats, and it had been years since we had played it. But one of my favorites, a really interesting worker placement. We do have the miniatures, like the little exosuits, so that adds to like the theme and the fun, actually putting those exosuits out onto the board.
The unique worker placement with borrowing from the future.
Yeah.
They do a good job thematically with it.
Yeah, and then the different workers are different types, and some of them can't go to certain locations, or they get benefits if you do send them certain places. So you're also thinking about, how do I want to use my people, and where's the best place to put them? Anachrony.
Cool. The game that I have that's older, but actually I've never played before, but I got it to the table for the first time, was Grand Austria Hotel. Got this at community game night, got to play it, and it is a sort of dice game that you are picking, just like you're rolling like 15 dice.
Oh, goodness.
And then for that round, those are the dice that you're using, putting them in different sets. So if like, there's like 3 threes, the power of the 3 is determined by the number of 3s in that set. That was very interesting that you're taking, and then you're taking one of away, so that decreases the power for the next person. And then you're basically, each of those 1, 2, 3s, 4s, and 5s, and 6s give you a certain type of action, and those actions then you're basically, it is in a hotel, you're trying to open up rooms, trying to get food to serve your customers and close the rooms in the hotel, and that's how you're getting a lot of the points. But I really did enjoy Grand Austria Hotel. I believe that's from the Lookout Games.
The game I enjoyed this past month was, I believe it's being sold as Cinco Linko now. When I got it at a convention, it was OK Play. And it has these really chunky square tiles, and they stack really cool. But what you're trying to do is, it's basically a Connect 4, but in this case it's Connect 5. So you're trying to get 5 in a row, up, down, or diagonal. What you do is you lay, and the next person has to lay next to you, and then that allows you to lay another one, and so on. So you can play up to 4 people. It was interesting because I was playing with my 6-year-old nephews. They're just grasping like how to play a game like this, so they need a little bit of help. But there was a lot of like, block him over there.
Don't look in this corner.
But it's a lot of fun. My girls love to sneak into our game room and steal this off the shelf and then just play with the tiles because it's very tactile, and I do enjoy the game that way. And it was good for bringing on this camping trip because it was a little wet, but it's all plastic, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Well, that was our favorite games, newer games, and some older ones we brought back to the table from March. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what games you were playing in March, some of your favorite ones. We'd love to hear about that. And please like the video and share it. It really does help out the channel.
Our favorite games we played in March 2023.
Say it again.
Say that again, Sam.